Hello, everyone, and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain. And today, still a while, for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 7 with my Tampa Bay Lightning Historical Challenge. Um, I realized that I cut the last video a little bit short. Usually, I go through the waivers draft as part of the off season, and I stopped before that last time. I guess I was distraught over the loss of stars that Abby Bulin suffered. And now here is the season preview, and look at that. We are the early Stanley Cup favorites to win the cup. Go figure. All right, so I'm gonna read the email. I submitted my protection list. The highest rated player that I have available is German Titov. He's had a few pretty rough seasons, so even if he's picked, I don't really mind. I have like Sean Chambers in there as well, and Per Gustafsson, but Mikael Anderson, but nobody that I'm going to, shed tears over losing or anything like that. Alright, so let's read that. So, with the National Hockey League season about to get underway, the early Stanley Cup favorites appear to be Tampa Bay, led by center Matt Sundin, general manager Jesse Baum, that's me, has built, well, that's not really my name, but that's me for the purpose of this video, has built a squad that will be the team to beat this year, but they can expect challenges from Craig Patrick's Pittsburgh Penguins at Montreal, featuring goalie Patrick Roy. Looks like all the good teams are in the East this year. Among the dark horses, New Jersey stands out as a possible challenger with a big season by Martin Brodeur capable of pushing them into contender status. Scoring race will likely see Pittsburgh's Mario Lemieux challenged by Jaromir Jagr of Pittsburgh and Colorado's Joe Sakic. The top defenseman in the league is generally considered to be Detroit Red Wings blue liner Nick Lidstrom, with New York's Brian Leetch and Chris Pronger of Ottawa also in the running. Finally, among goaltenders, Buffalo's Dominic Hasek stands out as the league's best, while New Jersey Devils netminder Martin Brodeur and Patrick Roy of Montreal can also steal games for their teams. Alright, so despite everything, it would appear that we are seen as being able to contend for the cup. Now let's see how many players we're losing on the waivers draft and see if I can recoup maybe somebody or something. Alright, so the Leafs jumped on German Titov. He was available. Like I said, he didn't have a couple good seasons in a row, so that's okay. Per Gustafsson goes to Buffalo. Wow, so the first two picks are out of our team. Then Gary Roberts goes with the Mighty Ducks. Brad Wernka goes with the Phoenix Coyotes. Lucio Topati goes to Nashville. So Atlanta's being picked apart again. Or I shouldn't say again, but the same thing happened with Nashville. Andre Mazine goes with the Florida Panthers. Scott Lachance goes to Calgary. Why aren't they protecting any of those players? Nelson Emerson goes with the Oilers. I guess it ought to be a bug in the game. It ought to be. I mean, Igor Matushkin was picked by the Islanders. Magnus Johansson was picked by the San Jose Sharks. Shane Corson by the Capitals. Kevin Ollers from the Blues. Alright. Not a whole lot, huh? I really don't know who I would pick. Mike Dunham, maybe? Maybe I could have Mike Dunham as the backup. He actually might end up starting. I'll pick Mike Dunham. Alright, so I lost Hans Jansson. He goes with the Suns. Zardy Zalapski was picked by his own team. Peter Kayanek was picked up by the Blackhawks. Glenn Metropolit, I lost Glenn Metropolit to the Canucks. Maxim Sokolov goes to the Flyers. I lost Sean Chambers as well. He goes to the Bruins. I lost Mikael Anderson. He's going to the Rangers. Wow, I'm getting picked apart here. Peter Popovich goes to back to Montreal. Paul Eisenbart goes to the Devils. Alexander Kavanagh goes to the Avalanche. Martin Steininger goes to the Stars. Mike Rossetti goes to Pittsburgh. Doug Brown goes with the Kings. Michael Groshek goes to the Red Wings. And that's it. I got picked apart. Congratulations on finishing the draft. You lost 1 million players. Congratulations. Alright, that's going to make things interesting, I suppose. Now on the bright side, now I have room. Oh, yeah, that's true. There's a few young players I couldn't sign because I had too many contracts, so now I have room to sign them, and then I'm going to be able to pick some waivers along the way during the season. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video. Usually that part is done in the other video, and then I do this part off screen before I start. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause, and I'll be back when I have done all of my start of the season thing. I'll be right back. Alright, we should be good, I think. So due to me sending guys down for the start of the season, there's a few that are going to need to clear waivers. Avalid might get claimed. This is what our team is going to look like for now. I do have Mike Dunham that's kind of in limbo right now. I had to match an offer. Not sure how that works because I just claimed him off of waivers, but you know. So yeah, this is our team right now. If I do claim Dunham, I'm gonna try to send Edberg down. He's probably gonna get claimed too, but it is what it is. So our D is gonna look a little bit different. Francis Bouillon is there. We have Rob Blake to start the season. Lots of right-handed shots. Actually, everybody on that plays D on this team is a right-handed shot except for Bouillon. And Jovanovski. Oh, Jovanovski is a left shot. That's true. All right. So yeah. I mean, on paper we have a great team, but you know that's not how the cup is won. It's not on paper that it happens. Peter Cheslevy wants a number. Assign him number 24. There you go. So Cheslevy is one of those rookies. I had 2 more rookies to sign, so I signed them, and Cheslevy is one of them. So he's making the team as a 20-year-old, and we'll see what he can do. I'm guessing he's not gonna play all that much, but yeah, he's only a 1-star. So my 14th forward was going to be a 1-star regardless. So I decided to go with Cheslevy because he's a center. The other one was a winger. Alright, so the season is underway. So let's see what's going on here. So Ladislav Khan has been put on waivers. So did Paul Eisenbart. Yeah, I'm not going to go for Eisenbart. Alright, and the regular season starts now. So we're going to go ahead and see how we can do. So the first test for us this season is going to be against the New York Islanders. We're playing at home for a couple games, then we have an away game, and then we have a bunch of home games, and then we're going to finish the month on the road. Alright, so let's take a look here, see what the Islanders look like. Right, so they have an injury. Yui Krupp is injured, but it's a playable injury, so I don't know if he's going to be in the game or not. In net, the Islanders have Glenn Ely and Tommy Salo. Malakov on D with Smith, Ludeman, Matushkin, Krupp, Pilon, Kiprusov, and Regier. Not that great. Up front, they have Martin Gelina, Nat Domenichelli, Steve Thomas, Lubina, Fitzgerald, Gavey, Bunk, Niedermeyer, Savard, Surgeon, Jokinen, McInnes, and Palfi. Hopefully, we can win. Alright, so I checked here. Alright, so I don't see any check marks anywhere. So it was pointed out to me that that might be why Mikael Anderson was always like the top left winger regardless of what happened. And I thought that the AI being the coach would override that, but I guess not. So now it's cleared. So now let's see here. We're going to be facing the Islanders, as we've seen. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. So my first line to start the season is going to be Sundin with Keith Kitchuk and Scott Young. Three big buddies. I like that. Streka with Ryan Smith and Vili Peltonen. Steve Ruchin with Vyacheslav Kozlov and Bill Guerin. And then my fourth line is Michael Anzus with Marcus Naslund and Peter Shastlevy. Yeah, I think we're doing okay as far as forwards go. That's four solid lines, at least, on paper in real life, that would be. And on D, we have Adrian Aucoin playing with Rob Blake, Francis Bouillon playing with Numinen, and Boris Mironov with Rafalski. So Ed Jovanovski is the odd man out at this point. All right. So we're starting Nikolai Abibulin. Tommy Salo is going to be in net for the Islanders. And of course, as usual, go Lightning, go! May this season be the season that we break out in a big way. Well, it will have to wait. We lost our first game of the season 3-2 at home against the Islanders. Islanders outshot us 32-23. Rob Niedermeyer was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Matt Sundin was the second star. He scored both of our goals. And Kiprusov was the third star with an assist. 14,716 people in attendance for this first game in Tampa Bay for the season. Nobody scored in the first, then the Islanders scored twice in the second period. They were up 2-0 after 2. Then in the third period, Matt Sundin scored from Rob Blake and Keith Kitchuk. Then the Islanders scored, made it 3-1, and then Matt Sundin scored again from Michael Anzus and Marcus Naslund. It was 3-2, but there were only 10 seconds left to go in the game. That wasn't enough to tie the game. We lost the opener 3-2. Ray Shepherd has a strong game for the Wings. He had a hat trick against Buffalo. Jason Arnott is out for basically the entire season, 6 months. So Jason Arnott is hurt already in Toronto, so that sucks for them. Jochen Hecht is suspended. He's going to miss 1 game. He plays with the Rangers. And those are the new players and how comfortable they are with the team. Alright, now we wait 4 days before we play our next game, which is going to be against the LA Kings, who lost Wayne Gretzky to retirement, so that ought to hurt. Alright, so Robert Pukelovich is on waivers. Keith Primo has a memorable game playing for the Red Wings. He had a hat trick against the Stars. Jochen Hecht already served his suspension. He is back in the lineup. And the red light stays on for Alexei Zamnov in Phoenix. He had a hat trick against the Mighty Ducks. Alright, so the Kings are in town. They have a perfect record. They are 3-0. They played last night in Florida and won 3-2. So let's see. Let's look at that perfect lineup. Oh, they have a couple injuries. So Rem Murray is hurt for a couple months with a broken pelvis. He's not going to play. And Warren Reichel is also hurt for a couple months with a strained shoulder. Also not going to play. So the players that are going to play, Bill Ranford and Stena, and I think that we played the Kings in preseason. I recognize that lineup. Greg DeVries, Sidor, Zitnik, Trnka, Seeger, Svoboda, Markov, Morris on D, Bednar, Arvidsson, Miller, Eliash, Marchand, Plant, Bure, Gardiner, Miller, Zednik, Parrish, Brown, and Wilson up front. Yeah, I do remember that. Oh, so things have been changed around a little bit for this game. So we'll see what happens here. Alright, so Restislav Stena is going to be in net for the Kings. We are going to go with Nikolai Abibulin. And we won in overtime. Alright, we're going to take it. I don't care that it's not 8-0 trouncing. I needed a W early. I got it. So we beat the Kings 3-2 in overtime at home. We outshot them 30-27. Keith Kitchuk was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Mark Parrish was the second star with a goal, and Matt Sundin was the third star with a goal and an assist. 14,467 people in attendance for the game. Just like in our game against the Islanders, nobody scored in the first. Then in the second, Keith Kitchuk scored from Brian Rafalski and Boris Mironov. Then the Kings scored twice, and LA was up 2-1 after 2. Then in the third period, Matt Sundin scored from Keith Kitchuk. It was tied at 2 going into overtime. Keith Kitchuk played the hero from Matt Sundin and Ryan Smith, and that was a 3-2 victory. Pretty good game. So Ladislav Kohn has been put on waivers. Paul Ranheim has been put on waivers. Jean-Jacques Daigneault has been put on waivers. And Mike Knuble has been put on waivers as well. Nicholas Lidstrom extends his assist streak to 8 games with an assist against the Atlanta Thrashers. Kevin Hatcher played in his 1000th game in his career. That happened against Buffalo. No points for Kevin Hatcher in the game. Kevin Hatcher is now 33 years old and he is still a 2-star player. Sandy Sazalinch, former Tampa Bay Lightning, has been scoring goals for Chicago. Got a hat trick against Phoenix. You sure as heck didn't do that for me. Yeah, he had a really good season last year in Chicago. And memorable game for Anson Carter playing in Colorado. He had 3 goals and an assist against Pittsburgh. And we are now hitting the road for just a quick game in New Jersey against the Devils. Devils are perfect. They are 2-0 this season. That's good for 4th in the East. Let's take a look at that perfect lineup. Well, there's no injuries. So Martin Brodeur and Thomas Vokun in it. Oh, dear God. When Vokun develops, that's going to be quite possibly the greatest tandem in the league. Brad Bombardier, Roman Hammerlich, Jason Smith, Chris Phillips, Tommy Albaline, Scott Niedermeyer, Trigg, and Bikov on D. That's a pretty decent D for sure. Chorsky, Friesen, Skrudland, Zelipukin, Kapanen, Jonf, Rolston, Yell, Sikora, Boson, Lemieux, McLean, and Richer up front. Fairly well-rounded team, the Devils, which, you know, at that junction of history, they actually were in real life too. A lot of people, I might have talked about that in a previous video or not, I don't remember, but a lot of people like were banging or bashing on the Devils because they were playing the trap. Oh, it's anti-hockey, blah blah blah. But what they forget is that a few times the Devils, while playing the trap, were also the highest scoring team in the league for the entire year. So yeah, there was that as well. That's usually the part people were forgetting. All right. So we have Nikolai Abibulin in net. They have Martin Brodeur. Brodeur already has a shout out to his name for the season. All right. We can do it. And we did. All right. So first road game of the season is a 4-2 victory in New Jersey against the Devils. We outshot New Jersey 24-21. Scott Young was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Stéphane Richer was the second star with an assist, and Vili Peltonen was the third star with 2 assists. So we opened up the scoring in the first. It was Teppo Numminen from Martin Straka and Scott Young. It was 1-0. Tampa Bay after 1. And in the second period, Vyacheslav Kozlov scored from Vili Peltonen and Brian Rafalski. 2-0 Tampa Bay at that point. Then the Devils got on the board, so it was 2-1. Tampa Bay after 2. And in the third period, the Devils tied the game, but less than a minute later, Vyacheslav Kozlov scored to put us back ahead from Steve Richin and Vili Peltonen, and then Scott Young from Ryan Smith and Boris Mironov. It was a 4-2 Tampa Bay win. And yeah, we are happy with that. I am. Uh-oh. Ed Jovanovski was suspended. I did see that he got a illegal check to the Ed penalty, and he's going to miss 7 games. The ridiculous suspensions continue. I just say ridiculous because it's a lot of games for a first offense. That doesn't really follow the model of the NHL that usually starts with, your first offense. You can, saw a limb off of a player, but it's your first offense, so you're going to get 2 games or something. And, but anyway. Nicholas Lidstrom extends his assist streak to 9 games with an assist against the Florida Panthers. And Paul Coffey got his 1,500 point in the NHL. So Paul Coffey now plays in San Jose. That happened against Dallas. Got an assist, of course. So that's 1,500 points, 38 years old. Paul Coffey, 3-star player. So even at 38, Paul Coffey was pretty awesome in his day. All right, and now we have a 5-day break before we host the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Oh, Scott Young got a day-to-day injury for not doing anything. What do you want me to do about it? Foot soreness. Tony Amonte is going to be hurt for 2 weeks with the Rangers. So that's not too terrible. Shouldn't miss too many games. All right, 3 more days off for us. Nicholas Lidstrom's assist streak ended at 9 games. Oh, he did get a goal against St. Louis, but he didn't get an assist. So his point streak continues, but not the assist streak. Tony Urquis is back from suspension with Atlanta. So back in the lineup there. Big game for Vincent Enfous with Montreal. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the Flyers. Brent Sopel has not been suspended with Ottawa, so he stays in the lineup. And Scott Young and his foot might be feeling a little bit better. All right, Anaheim is going to be in town. So Anaheim is not off to a great start. They are 1-4 this season. So we're going to take a look at their lineup. All right, so Daryl Shannon is hurt for 3 to 4 months, so he's not going to be playing this game, obviously. So Guy Hebert and Félix Potvin in net, so that's decent, not extraordinary, but that's decent. Ken Daneyko, Joe Rickey, Ulrich, Sylvain Lefebvre, Marek Malik, Alish Pisa on D, that's not too good. Bates, Battaglia, Martin St. Louis, Howell, Zarillo, Le Cavalier, Roberts, Adams, Collins, Stapleton, Vitalins, York, Domi, Lawrence, Alpern, and Volk up front. At least they got rid of Verk and Volk and all of those super short names that they had. Yeah. They have some star power in the making. They're just not quite there yet. Alright, let's see if we can beat them. Alright, so Guy Hebert is going to be in net for Anaheim, and we're going to go with Johan Edberg for that one. So I don't know what happened with Mike Dunham. He's disappeared, I guess. And we won 5-2. I'll check after this game for Mike Dunham. Alright, so good game back at home. We outshot Anaheim 34-26. Rob Blake was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Vili Peltonen was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Scott Young was the third star with an assist. 13,705 people in attendance for this game. Anaheim actually scored first in that one, but then we tied the game. It was Rob Blake short-handed from Steve Rucha. Wow, Rob Blake with a short-handed goal. It was tied at 1 after 1. Then in the second period, we scored 3 unanswered. Vili Peltonen scored on the power play from Michael Andzus and Vyacheslav Kozlov. Keith Kitchuk scored from Bill Guerin and Rob Blake. Mikael Nylander scored short-handed from Scott Young. Wow, we scored 2 shorties in this game. Then Anaheim scored in the third period, made it 4-2. And then Martin Straka scored in an empty net from Vili Peltonen, made it 5-2. And of course, that was the final score. So we got a W here. Petr Svoboda played in 1,000 games in his career, playing for the Kings now. Didn't get a point in that game. That happened against the Flames. Petr Svoboda is 33, still a 2.5-star defender. Yannick Perreault extends his goal streak to 5 games with 2 goals against the Hawks. Cliff Running got his 600th point in his career with a goal against the Carolina Hurricanes. Cliff Running is 34, 3-star player still. And Scott Young is on the edge of returning. Oh yeah, I'm wondering about. Yeah. Where is Mike Dunham? Like I claimed Mike Dunham in the waivers draft, and then I went to look at and I thought that he was on the team and everything, and then I went to look at the unsigned draftees because I had spots now to sign, and I saw Mike Dunham there, 27 years old, unsigned, and I went, oh, and I tried to sign him. There was no option to sign him. All I could do was match offers. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna match, whatever phantom offer is on him, and now he's nowhere to be found. How awesome is that? So basically in the waivers draft, I lost 4 or 5 players, and I got 0 out of it. All right, so now we are hosting the Trashers. So the brand new team, Atlanta Trashers, are in town, and it's not a great start to their franchise. They are 0-4, so we'll go ahead, and of course they are dead last in the East. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look here. Right, so Derek King is hurt, so he's not going to be playing. And they lost all of those players in the waivers draft too that they didn't protect for some reason, and instead they protected those half-star players, I suppose. Oh yeah, and their first... That's crazy to me that they did that. I forgot about that until just now, that the first overall pick in the last year's draft was Zenon Konopka. Now, Konopka played a little bit for the Suns many years ago. Definitely not first overall pick material, but I'm sure he's a nice guy. Alright, so Ron Tugnut and Roman Turek in net. Francisek Cusera, Lilo Deline, Sandy McCarty, Mackenzie, Yerky Lume. Andy, so Lume is pretty much their best player. Kind of reminds me of the first Ottawa Senators year where, their best player was Norm McIver, was a defenseman. Oh, sorry, there's also Darius Kasparidis and Scott Stevens. That's true, the Devils didn't protect Scott Stevens. Lavach, Brown, Urkus, Podine, Vananen, Prospol, Rob, Meller, Pusher, I don't know how it's pronounced, Konopka, Jaspers, Valerie Bourret that they picked from us, Craig Conroy, and Pat Verbeek. How is Valerie Bourret doing? He has no point. Alright, so we are hosting Atlanta. Roman Turek is going to be in net for the Trashers. We are going to go with Nikolai Abibulin. And it's a tie, a 2-2 tie. We could not even beat the fresh, new, shiny expansion team. I guess we get a point out of it at least. They played us pretty tight. We outshot them, but only 36 to 32, so not a huge advantage there. And most of it, except for the hits, where we didn't hit much, most of the stats were very equal there. Boris Mironov was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Craig Conroy, former Tampa Bay Lightning, was the second star with an assist. And Matt Sundin was the third star with 2 assists. 14,514 people in attendance for this game. Sorry. So nobody scored in the first. There was a fight between Adrian Aucoin and Lilo Deline. Nobody scored in the second either, so all of the scoring happened in the third. Brian Rafalski scored on the power play from Matt Sundin, then Boris Mironov from Matt Sundin and Francis Bouillon. It was 2-0 Tampa Bay at that point, but Atlanta came back and tied the game. And of course, nobody scored in overtime, so we have a 2-2 tie. Peter Sikora has a strong game. He had a hat-trick against the Islanders. Adam Oates scored 300 goals in his career. He had a goal and 2 assists against Phoenix. Adam Oates is 37 and he is still a 4-star player. Suspension for Jeremy Roenick in Chicago. He's going to miss 4 games. And Stefan Matteau in Chicago is also suspended. He's going to miss 3 games. What happened in that game? Wow. Alright, and Scott Young is not hurt anymore. Alright, couple days off, then we're going to be hosting the Vancouver Canucks. The league says no suspension for Slaney, so John Slaney with Buffalo not suspended. Alright, the Canucks are in town. They are 3-3. So playing 500 hockey there. Let's see here. Alright, there's no injuries in Vancouver. They do have Vopat that's unfit. So the Canucks in net have John Van Beesbrook and Antero Niittymaki. On D, it's Jason Cullimore, Brian Muir, Jan Vopat, Gerald Deduck, Kardish Krashtins, and Richard Schmelik. Not that great of a D. Robert Cron, Bob Probert, Luke Robitaille, Vitaly Yakmanev, Sergei Samsonov, Peter Nedved, Mike Pekka, that's Dennis Peterson, I believe. Yep, Sean Pronger, Cliff Running, Glenn Metropolit, Chris Draper, Trevor Linden, Radek Dvorak, and Vaclav Varada are up front. So, pretty decent offense. The D, not so much though. John Van Beesbrook in net for the Canucks. We are going to Nikolai Bibulin. And it is a 5-1 victory for the Lightning. And we outshot Vancouver 44-27. Michael Lanzus was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Rob Blake was the second star with an assist. And Alexander McGillney was the third star with a goal. 14,165 people in attendance for this game. So Ryan Smith scored the first goal of the game. It was a power play goal from Matt Sundin. And then Alexander McGillney scored from Michael Lanzus. It was 2-0 Tampa Bay after 1. In the second period, Vancouver scored. It was 2-1, but then Vyacheslav Kozlov scored from Steve Ruchin and Vili Peltonen. It was 3-1 Tampa Bay after 2. Then in the third period, Matt Sundin scored on the power play from Ryan Smith and Bill Guerin, and then Marcus Naslund from Michael Anzus and Rob Blake. 5-1 the score, the final score, 5-1. That's a pretty good game here. And Rob Blake is hurt. He must have gotten hurt really late in the game because he assisted on the last goal and there was just a little bit more than a minute left to go in the game. Hopefully he's not out for too long. He's day to day. Alright. I have to see. bad news for St. Louis. Wayne Primo is hurt. He's gonna miss 4 months. Alright, so I'm a little bit in a pickle here because Rob Blake cannot play and Ed Jovanovski is suspended, so I'm gonna need to put Rob Blake on injured reserve just so I can recall a defenseman. That kind of sucks. So Rob Blake is gonna miss more time than he should have too. Alright, now who am I recalling? I'm recalling Niskatch. Believe that's going to be his first NHL action. If he plays. Oh, he has to. Alright, Sergei Fedorov extends his assist streak to 8 games with 2 assists against the Sharks. Alright, so we have one more home game before we hit the road. Oh, that's going to be quite the trip there. Memorable game for Patrick Marleau in Carolina. He had 4 assists against Buffalo. Oh wow, 9-0 trouncing. Alright, so Calgary is in town. Calgary is 2-4-3. That's not all that great. And they have an injury. That's Brad Stewart. He's not going to be able to play. Alright, so in net, Calgary has Mike Vernon and Tsariov. I'm not sure who that guy is. Marcus Ragnarsson, Gary Suter, Stuart Yushkevich, Staviana, Scott Lachance, Al McInnes on D. Eagles, Silman, Todd Harvey, Morrison, Newendike, Reichel, Stuck, Tansel, Fleury, McCarty, McCult, Shakraichuk, Litvinenko, and Letowski up front. Alright, so Niskash is going to play with Boris Mironov. Alright, Mike Vernon is going to be in net for the Flames. We are going to go with Johan Edberg. That is another victory for the Lightning. This time we won 9-2. Alright, that's definitely I think the best start to the season we've had since I started this series. We outshot Calgary 44-20. Matt Sundin was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 3 assists. Scott Young was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Francis Bouillon was the third star with 2 goals. Francis Bouillon was not exactly known for his offense during his time in the NHL, so those 2 goals are a pretty nice added bonus. And we had 15,090 people in attendance for the game. Martin Streka opened up the scoring in the first. That was a power play goal from Bill Guerin and Matt Sundin. Steve Ruchin scored from Vyacheslav Kozlov and Scott Young. It was 2-0 for us. Then the Flames scored. It was 2-1, but we added 2 more goals. Scott Young scored from Martin Streka and then Francis Bouillon from Marcus Naslund and Peter Shastlevy. It was 4-1 after 1. Then in the second period, Ryan Smith scored on the power play from Matt Sundin. Then Sundin scored his 5th from Keith Tkachuk and Bill Guerin. And then Francis Bouillon scored from Scott Young. It was 7-1 Tampa Bay after 2. Then in the third, the Flames scored, made it 7-2 for us. Then Vyacheslav Kozlov scored on the power play from Vili Peltonen, and then Boris Mironov from Keith Tkachuk and Matt Sundin. It was a 9-2 final score. Sergei Fedorov's assist streak ended at 8 games. He did get a goal against the Blackhawks, so his streak continues, but yeah, his point streak continues. Jan Bulish in St. Louis is suspended. He's going to miss 4 games. And John Madden is hurt. John Madden playing for the Abs. He's going to miss 3 months with a concussion. Alright, so we have 3 days off, and then we're going to be playing 3 games in 4 nights on the road on top of that. Alright, so Sergei Berezin extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal against the Florida Panthers. Oh, there's been a trade between Dallas and Nashville. James Black goes to Nashville for Bobby Dallas. Interesting trade. A small trade. Nothing too big. Right, couple more days off. Rob Blake might be ready soon. Doesn't matter. He had to be put on injured reserve thanks to the suspension to Ed Jovanovski. John Van Beesbrook played in 800 games in his career. That happened against the Flyers. And he got the W. Alright, Rob Blake almost returned. Alright, so we're going to play in Buffalo, then in Boston, and then we're finishing the video in Dallas on October 30th. So we're playing Buffalo first. So in Buffalo, the Sabres are 3-6. That's good for 13th in the East. Alright, so Jason Daw is hurt in Buffalo. Other than that, they are healthy. Dominik Hasek in net with Yevgeny Nabokov, Bill Older, Grant Ledyard, Matthias Olund, Gustafsson, Wade Redden, Philippe Boucher, Keith Carney, Lubomir Sekerash, and John Slaney on D. The D is actually not too bad. They have our good old trusty Per Gustafsson. But, yeah. Dave Andreychuk, Jay Pandolfo, Steve Sullivan, Rob Zamuner, Olzinger, Kozlov, Ribeiro, Capuche, Weimer, Davidson, Audit, and May up front. Let's see if we can beat Buffalo. We're going to have Nikolai Bibolin in net for that game. They are going to go with Dominik Hasek. And we lost 3-2. I guess we cannot win all the time. Although I wish I could. We're getting really close to the end of the challenge. We outshot Buffalo 43-20, so we got robbed by Hasek, and Abibulin was just not all that great with his whopping 2-star all of a sudden. Right, so Davidson was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Matt Sundin was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Hasek was the third star with 41 saves. Former Tampa Bay Lightning Per Gustafsson scored the first goal of the game, and then Buffalo scored again, so they were up 2-0 after 1. Then in the second period, Matt Sundin scored from Boris Mironov and Bill Guerin. It was 2-1 Buffalo. Buffalo added another goal. It was 3-1 heading into the third period, where Martin Straka scored on the power play from Matt Sundin and Ryan Smith. It was 3-2, but we just couldn't tie the game, so we lost 3-2 against the Sabres. Steve Thomas has scored 300 goals in his career with a goal and an assist against the Florida Panthers. Steve Thomas is 36 and still a 3-star player. Stefan Matteau is back in the lineup for the Blackhawks. And we don't have time to feel too sorry for ourselves. We are playing in Boston tonight. Boston is 4-7. That's good for 13th in the East. Don Sweeney is still hurt from that concussion that he suffered sometime last year and that he was out for 14 months. So he still has 2 to 3 months to recover from that. Stefan Fiset and John Graham in net, not that great. Igor Ulanov, Glenn Wesley, Tom Pody, Sean Chambers, Ray Borg, John Clem, Gordon Murphy, Blake Sloan on D. Up front, it's Ted Donato, Joey Janot, Grant Marshall, Sergei Zoltak, Josef Stumpel, Marty Risner, Adam Oates, Brian Smolinski, Scott Gomez, Marius Cherkowski, Adam Denmarsh, Steve Hines, and Glenn Murray. Oh wow, they have Glenn Murray on the trading block. Alright. We're going to go with Johan Edberg in net for that one. John Graham in net for the Bruins. And we lost 6-5 in overtime. Alright, Boston outshot us 35-28. Blake Sloan was the first star of the game with a goal and an assist. Scott Young was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Josef Stumpel was the third star with 2 assists. Alexander McGillney opened up the scoring in the first from Steve Ruchin and Marcus Naslund. Then the Bruins tied the game. It was tied at 1 after 1. Then in the second period, Keith Tkachuk scored from Vili Peltonen and Martin Straka. It was 2-1 for us, but the Bruins scored twice. It was all of a sudden 3-2 Boston after 2. Then in the third period, Vyacheslav Kozlov scored his 5th from Scott Young and Matt Sundin. Then Kozlov scored again from Scott Young and Keith Tkachuk. It was 4-3 Tampa Bay. Boston tied the game. We scored, made it 5-4 Scott Young from Vyacheslav Kozlov. Boston tied the game with 51 seconds left to go in the game. We went in overtime. And Glenn Murray, the guy that's on the training block, was the hero from Adam Oates, and we lost 6-5 in overtime. Alright, Rob Blake is ready to return, but I cannot get him in the lineup just yet, I don't think. Yeah, I have to wait 4 days. Good game for Semi Kapanen. He had 3 goals and an assist against Carolina. And Jeremy Roenick is back from suspension with the Hawks. Alright, so last game of the month, we are going to be playing in Dallas against the Stars. They are 5-5-1, so that's a very similar record to ours. And they don't have any injuries, however. Their goaltenders are both half stars. It's Nicholas Backstrom and that Eriksson guy from last year. Alright, Carl Dykhouse, Richard Medvedchuk, Yanni Ninima, Martin Steiniger, Darian Atcher, Aaron Ward, Andrew Ference, and Bobby Dallas on D. Up front, it's Korolyuk, Dallin Donovan, Lindsay Lindgren, Modano, Oyanen Yashin, Shubarov, Dakel Klat, Lettinen, and Stevenson. So yeah, Alexei Yashin was traded to Dallas. Well, so far the Sens seem to have won that trade. At the moment, Dimitra is doing better than Yashin. Alright, let's play the Stars. Probably won't be an easy game. We're going to send Nikolai Abibulin in net. They are going to go with Magnus Eriksson. And we got beat by an Alpha Star goaltender again. And this time we lost 4-1. Oh dear God, we did not play well. We were outshot 31-15 in that game. Alexei Yashin was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Mike Modano was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Darian Atcher was the third star with 2 assists. So Dallas scored twice in the first. Then Steve Ruchin scored from Brian Rafalski and Ryan Smith. It was 2-1 Dallas after 1. Then they added a goal in the second to make it 3-1, and then another one at the end of the game to make it 4-1. And there was a fight in the third period between Turner Stevenson and Keith Tkachuk. Yeah, not a great game. So we started pretty good, but Yeah, now we're back to basically playing 500, which is what we've been doing for years, despite me making, many changes to the lineup to try to make it better. But I cannot beat what is it called? I cannot beat Recalc. Ed Jovanovski is back from suspension. That's good news. No one could stop Jason Allison, a former Tampa Bay pick. He had 3 goals against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sergei Fedorov extends his point streak to 12 games with an assist against St. Louis. How can Mike Dunham still be a free agent when I claimed him and try? Something's not working right, folks. I'm telling you. Alright, so. Oh, the month is not over. We still have a day to go. Here we go. So the players of the month were Sergei Fedorov and John Van Beesbrook. Now we can recap. We are on November 1st. Alright, so we finished the month 8 in the East. We are also a team that, yeah, like of the 8 teams that are in a playoff spot, we are the team that played the least amount of games. There's always that. Now in the West, with absolutely no surprise to nobody, the Red Wings are still first. They are 10-1. They played 11 games. The Wings are 10-1. And then San Jose, Colorado, LA, Dallas, Vancouver, Phoenix, and St. Louis. Of course, it's early in the season, so there's not a whole lot of stock to put into any of this. So far, the worst team in the league is the Chicago Blackhawks. Wow. All right. Let's take a look at our stats here. All right, so Matt Sundin is doing his darndest to make sure that we're going to be competitive. He has 15 points in 10 games. That's actually pretty good. That's 1.5 point per game. Kozlov, another recent acquisition of mine, not too bad. 9 points in 10 games. Keith Kitchuk as well, 9 points. Scott Young, 9 points in 9 games. Again, not too shabby. Ryan Smith Peltonen, my best defenseman is Boris Mironov with 5 points. So, again, it looks like getting offense from my D is going to be a little bit challenging. Also, keep in mind we did lose Rob Blake to injury, so he did miss some games. But yeah. Alright, so we do have Sundin. Sundin is breaking out here. He wasn't all that great with it. Well, he wasn't bad, but he was a little bit underwhelming last year after I got him. 32 points in 45 games. That's not bad, but he also didn't quite carry the team. So right now it looks like he's willing to carry the team with his 15 points in 10 games. Hopefully that keeps up like that. And now in the entire league, the best goal scorer plays for the Kings. It is Pavel Bure with 11 goals. And the best passer is Sergei Fedorov with 15 assists. Best scorer is Sergei Fedorov with 19 points. And for the first time in forever, we have somebody in the top 10. Matt Sundin with his 15 points is 7th in the league in scoring. Alright, now let's look at the goalies. I don't think that Abby Bullin's going to be anywhere in there. Yeah, I don't see his name anywhere. If you do, let me know, but I don't see him anywhere. He hasn't been very good. Nope, it's a whole bunch of everybody else's goaltenders but mine. Alright, so that's where we stand. We're 8, 1 game over 500. Hopefully in November we're going to be able to kind of break free a little bit. Hopefully we can kind of do that. And that's going to be it for today. So, of course, as usual, I would like to thank you for tuning in. If you've liked the video and you would like to help support me and my channel, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.